Okay guys, in my recent Percussion Revolver series, I've been shooting the Era's Gone bullet molds, bullets in 36 caliber that I got from Mark Hubbs, the creator of it. It was a copy of a Colt original type bullet and a Richmond original type bullet. Well, a question has come up from several who are pointing out that the historic load, when you read the loading for the Civil War, was 17 grains, and yet I was using 25 grains. Was I wrong? Had I misread my powder measure or something like that? And so let me take you through the process of where I reached that beginning load and what I ended up with, again, to clarify the situation. Here is my cylinder from my 1861 Navy made by Pieta, which I call Stormborn. It is a 36 caliber. This is the powder measure that I'm using. The powder is Pyrodex P. That's the powder we're using. Okay. What I'm going to do is unlock the base of my powder measure where it drops down to full size, open the gate. I'm going to take the cylinder from the gun and I'm going to fill up one chamber to the top. When I get there, I'm going to give it just a little bit of a tap to settle it. That's all. Now, I don't know if you can see it, but that chamber is now full. Now, taking my powder measure, it opened like this, I'm going to very carefully pour that powder charge into that powder measure, just like that, making sure to tap it so nothing got compressed and got left in there. Okay, we're fully empty now. Now, putting my finger over the top, I'm going to gently slide this up until it makes contact somewhere around there. And what that's saying is at about 35 grains is what that is saying. Okay, I'm going to pour that powder back into the dispenser. I really feel it would be 40 grains. I'll tell you why I'm going to say that. In my act of compressing it up, of sliding that rod up, I'm compressing the powder, and therefore it's really about 40 grains is what's the full capacity of it. Now, to test that theory, I'm going to set this up to 40 full grains. 40 grains. I'm going to lock it closed. I'm going to fill my chamber up. That. I'm going to go back to that empty cylinder and I'm going to pour it into that chamber. Just like that. Now, so that's loose. There is no compression now. Okay. Okay, that's it. Tap it just a little bit and level it. So 2 or 3 grains difference. So we're going to call it 40 grain. Now, taking the bullet that I intend to fire with my powder scale set at the maximum capacity of my chamber. This is a volume measure. This ball takes up a given volume. I'm going to sit it up there at the top of the scale, the base, and read it at the bottom, seeing how much volume it's taking up. What it is saying, and I doubt you can see that, is it's just about 23 grains is what volume is left available in that cylinder. So I began with 20 grains and I put it into it and fired, and that's what I started with the Colt, and it was more of a soft thump. It fired well, but it was and you saw it penetrated 3 boards and dented the 4th. When I went to the Richmond and I fired a single round first, just because of my limited supply of ammunition, and tried it out, I could tell it was not quite there. So I went up to 25 grains. There is a pretty good bit of compression, see, in the loading of it. We want it to be compressed, but not like, you know, you can't beat it in there. And I loaded it firmly. It takes about a third more pressure, but it did load because that Richmond bullet is larger. Once I got it loaded and fired it, you saw the small group it produced, and you saw the fact that it was blowing across my chronographs at the 700 and something feet per second. That's pretty good for that big heavy bullet. That's a 150 grain bullet. 380 caliber, probably coming out of the barrel somewhere around the 370, 360, somewhere like that diameter. I haven't mic'd one out of the end of it, so I can't give you the exact figure. But moving at 700 to 750 feet per second, that's like a 38 target load. It's about the same weight, it's a slightly bigger diameter, and moving at roughly the same speed. So that's like a 38 special target load, which is fine for small game. We get hung up in our day-to-day numbers and things like that of, oh, it's got to be up here. What is the game you're going for? I'm going for small game up to, say, a rabid dog that might be a menace to me, and on the absolute outset, it would be a wild Russian boar that's decided he wants to gnaw me in two, and this is all I got. I don't think I'm going to have anything else that's going to bother me. I'm not in country where there's grizzlies or anything like that. And when the foot-pounds of energy exceed the weight of the animal, years ago I was in a discussion with someone, and they were pointing out that the power was only like 350 feet of foot-pounds of power, and that wasn't sufficient for anything. I said, the rabbit weighs less than 6 pounds. I'm not trying to stop a Buick. You know, if I'm shooting a 6-pound rabbit, that's more than sufficient. It is not sufficient for a 1,000-pound moose. It is sufficient for a 6-pound rabbit. So you kind of got to keep that mindset of it. We always want to apply the modern. Yes, after 150 years of development of more effective bullets, more effective powder, more effective designs, this is an antique design. It is by no means helpless and worthless. You wouldn't give it to your kids to play with as a toy. It is a very effective in the field use. But compared to, say, a 40 cal or a 9mm or a 357 or your 4.54 Casull or whatever, no. But if you shoot a bunny with a 4.54 Casull, it's just as dead as if you shoot it with a cap and ball 36 with a good placement. I hope this clears this up a little bit, guys. I was correct when I said 25 grains. I went back and verified to make sure I was not, you know, I had not misread my powder measure or something like that. It is 25 grains of what I was loading underneath the Richmond, and it was about 22 to 23, 20 something odd, a little over in the Colt. And I will be getting more of those Colt bullets, and I will be doing a better test and seeing how it does with the full load once I've done a little bit of load development. But I had a limited resource of bullets. I didn't have time to work up a bunch of load development. Hope this clarifies, and guys, if you got any questions or comments or something you'd like to see, please leave them in the box below. Till next time, I'm Blackie for Shaman's Forge Woodscraft, wishing you safe journeys. Have a great day, guys.